सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 18 to 27.
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्ताः, मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः, जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः, अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः। नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारम् यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति, गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति, मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति। गुणानेतानतीत्यत्रीन् देही देहसमुद्भवान्, जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैः विमुक्तो मृतमश्नुते। अर्जुन उवाच कैर्लिङ्गैस्त्रीन् गुणानेतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो, किमाचारः कथं चैतान् त्रीन् गुणानतिवर्तते। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव, न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति। उदासीनवदासीनः गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येव योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गते समदुःखसुखस्वस्थः समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरः तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः मानापमानयोस्तुल्यः तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च
Bharat, I've sent you a message. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we were doing verse 26, which was the continuation of the previous verse before Arjuna interrupted his flow of thought. He was telling us about how we reach the state of self-realization. That verse was Jnana Yoga. Now he's come here to serve me with unswerving devotion. Amazing how many times he's repeated and repeated and repeated the same thing. And it's so difficult for us to get. To serve the Lord with unswerving devotion. It's just like, if you have this much now, what else do you want in life? उनसे उससे क्या होने वाला? उसी से सब कुछ होता है. We have so many things going on in life. But can we see them as a service to the Lord? It's just my way of giving back. I mean, some of you all I know have very difficult circumstances and situations. But then we must also remember that all of us who are in this class also have a very blessed life as well. We have things that 95% of humanity don't have. Do you realize this? The fact that you can come to this class and understand what is being said puts you in the top, 1% of humanity. Most people don't have access to electricity. First, you have to have electricity, then you have to have a device, then you have to have the language having been taught to you. What all has to happen, right? And you don't have to go running in the morning to earn money so that or collect water. Do you realize how much we have? And no doubt what we are going through is very difficult. But if we just say, okay, handling this is my service to the Lord, it will just cool us down, that temperature comes down. Otherwise, life is so tough, no? In some sense, it's so tough. Today there was class in the morning. Okay, somebody, I never like to do this, but now sometimes you can't help it. 10-15 class got over, right? The earlier session got over. Okay, then my poor husband is waiting outside. At some point, hopefully, he will get breakfast in life. So you have to run and make breakfast. So I told him, you go run and put the class on. I will run and make the breakfast. And the only reason this works is because there is just so much cooperative endeavor going on. It's a beautiful thing, right? The whole thing works because of it. Like even this class, how does it run? Because there's so much cooperative endeavor. Somebody has come and done something, somebody has come and done something, somebody has, started this class, somebody has told people that this class is there. Aditi has sung us bhajans for this class. Like, just imagine the amount of things that went into it so that at this moment, this class can take. Should we not just bow our heads in gratitude? And if we have bown our heads in gratitude, then what can we do but serve the Lord? What else can we do? What else is there to be done? And each thing in life is like, it's all working because billions of spokes are all working together. Now imagine if I had to rush off and make breakfast, who is putting on this class? Right? So imagine so many things are going on. And many times we can get the feeling that, oh my God, it's just too much stuff going on. But if we remember it is service of the Lord, then the whole temperature comes down. Whole temperature comes down. Or, yesterday, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? The new book. It's come. Finally, yesterday, it has arrived in time for the book launch to take place. Yeah. But what all went into it? I was asking this girl, Taruna, that day. Taruna is handling this. So she said, is your hair all white as yet or not? Because if your hair is not all white as yet, then something is very wrong here. But imagine that just for that book to come out, now Mamita has to get the electronic version set up. Now, 20th, 19th, 20th, whatever date it's supposed to come. Now you have to wait. Will it come? You never know what can go wrong, right? Anything can go wrong. And 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't. For that, we serve the Lord. Imagine that. Yeah, it is very difficult. It is sometimes difficult dealing with family members who are ill or dealing with family members who are not able to understand us or anything. It is difficult. But we must remember that difficulty is so little compared to what we've got. And so we bow our heads and serve with the yoga of devotion. And when you do that, suddenly the gunas don't matter. Doesn't matter, right? How much can we take what's going on in this world with an unaffected grace? Is entirely dependent upon upon
your level of growth.
Shilpa, what were you saying? You were muted, so I couldn't hear you.
Upon thinking that you are serving the Lord.
Very good. How much are you thinking that you're serving the Lord? Aditi, you weren't listening. Because this you should know. Because this is your characteristic. Just this much. It doesn't matter about how developed you currently are. But how much can you hold this thought that whatever I'm doing is service of the Lord? And the amount of bounty that comes to us because of it. It's something like, I don't know what to say. You remember 2 years ago, we had an absolutely stupid idea that we will set up a Vedanta university. Okay, we had nothing. We had such a silly idea. Like people told us, have you gone mad? You have got nothing. How are you going to do this? And yet, because of the grace of the Lord, step by step by step, it's going forward. Miracle, no? I don't know how many people believe then that actually this thing is going to happen. Everybody said, Acha chalo, let us try. We don't know. I don't know. What about you, Mahesh? Did you think ever it would actually happen? Too tough. I mean, impossible. You know, at that time we used to have yagnas and you had to spend like 5 lakhs on that yagna. We couldn't raise it. It was so tough. From that 5 lakh costing yagna to 108 crore project. सबके सब पागल ही है यहाँ पे. And yet somehow we did it. And we've enjoyed ourselves. We haven't got stressed in the process. I don't know. Mahesh, you've gotten stressed so far? Other than the thought. Not so far, we are all enjoying ourselves, yes. Jayashree, what about your stress levels? You're good, right? So far, we've enjoyed the journey. How is all this happening? Isn't it a miracle? You take one step towards the Lord, and the Lord takes 100 steps towards you. What is that which Aditi sings for us? Everything very nice. What is that line, Aditi, where it says, you understand all kanchan as dust, then all gold is yours. Something. Or what's that line? You're muted.
जो जीवन का सार समझ ले जीवन उसका है, जर्रा निकाले जो माटी सब कंचन उसका है.
What is zarra nikale sab mati?
So if you remove the dirt, keep on removing the dirt, zarra nikale jo mati सब कंचन उसका है, then the kanchan is.
Lovely, no? If you understand the truths of life and you remove all the dirt, sab kanchan uska hai. So simple it is, right? So simple and so tough. Everything I do is only a service of Him. But before I do that, I must have Jnana Yoga, which tells me the facts of life. And then my life is nothing but service of the Lord. That's it. In these 2 mantras, whole of life is converted. Now you feel, why is he telling us anymore? Because some bol diya, aur hai kya bolne ke liye? And yet he will tell us more. Because for these ideas to sink in, takes a long, long time to convert this, to convert our mind from thinking that I'm going to get something from the world to thinking that I'm only going to get anything I'm getting from the Lord. Takes some time. And until you get it, he will keep telling you, because turning it's like the car is going full speed in one direction. Thinking, ye mujhe milna hai, wo mujhe milna hai, ye mujhe karna hai. And you have to switch this around. Just switch the thinking. All of this is the service of the Lord. So now that it's going at 60 miles an hour, how do you change? He repeats, so that slowly it turns around. May take years. But you will say, oh, it'll take years to change. But even though that switch may take years, you realize what happens in the meanwhile. If you want to take a U-turn in your car, right? Immediately you're constantly going in the same, you're coming in this direction. Now you want to take a U-turn, right? So in your attempt to take a U-turn, what do?
Slow down the car.
Slow down, isn't it? So even if you haven't completely switched, you've slowed down the process of the mind racing to the world, and that itself will give peace. That itself will be what should I say? Will be a relief. It's really a relief. So he who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion. So 2 aspects. Some people like to just think in the air. Oh, भगवान का नाम लेंगे. क्या करेंगे? सोफा पे बैठेंगे, भगवान का नाम लेंगे. Not like that. Serves me with devotion. Where is the action? Where is the action? What have you done? So serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion. Unswerving means you just cannot think of anything else. It becomes impossible for you to think of anything else. Like that beautiful example of Hanuman when he was given that necklace. He put the necklace to his ear. You know, after the war, Ravana's war, he had helped so much, so he got something. Everybody gets after the thing. He put milega war ke baad. He got a very expensive necklace. He put it to his ear. The story goes, it didn't say Ram Ram, just chucked it. What am I going to do with something that doesn't say Ram Ram? So, if you do that, you cross over the gunas. Cross over the gunas means hello, this is only a summary
Transattva.
last time. Huh?
Transattva. Transattva.
That's just a synonym.
Ready for meditation?
Okay, you could say that, but what is he referring to? You're not wrong, Shilpa, of course. What you're saying is right, but here in this context, what are we talking? Crossed over the gunas means Ruchika,
You
crossed
become-
over the gunas means
You become Brahman.
okay, you can say that. I mean, it's not incorrect, but what in the context, what are we talking about? Please follow the line of thought. Don't bring in other information. The first thing that everybody has to get in their study of Vedanta is just a capacity to listen. And how do you know you're listening? Is that you can follow the line of thought. So what are we talking about? And talking, remember? Okay, very good. That gunas do not matter. Kalyan, yes, that you are not affected. Remember where we started this from? That all of us have a lot of problems. I mean, not all of us have a lot of problems, but I am aware among many people who have situations in their lives, right? And if you don't have a situation in your life now, some other time a situation will come about. So how are you going to deal with all this? The only way is if you think whatever you are doing is in the service of the Lord. If you do function in the sense of service of the Lord, what is the consequence?
You will not be affected.
Very good. That's what we are saying, na? So you say, what will I do by the service of the Lord? You will be able to maintain an unaffected grace in whatever goes on. Whatever goes on.
Kutastha.
You love that word, Milind. Yes, correct. But yes, if you understand what it means you stay steady in anything, whatever happens, all these changes, you are able to stay steady because, okay, why is it that if you are in the service of the Lord, you stay steady? Why does this happen?
Janki ji, could you repeat your question?
Why does it happen that if you are always in the service of the Lord, you are unaffected, you stay steady in whatever happens?
Because your desires are under control.
Okay, but why?
You are
Because
happy.
the mind is focused on the Lord.
Yes, correct. Tasha, you're close. Yes, correct, Deepraj. Because when are you not going to rotate? Suppose you're on a rotating thing, and when do you not feel rotation? When you're able to fix your attention on something that is permanent. When your attention is on something permanent, you are experiencing permanence in spite of the impermanence. Remember that. That is what people, layman's term, they call security. ये security है. ये security है means whatever else changes, this will not change. So now in this world, what are you going to put your attention on that will not change? There's only one thing here that doesn't change, and that is the Lord. When your attention is on Him, the self is not moving, right? There's no change taking place there. So you are experiencing changelessness in the midst of change. You are experiencing that security when things are insecure, because your attention is on something permanent. So therefore, if you look upon your life as a devotional service to the Lord, now this attitude which you have, you can hold. Now this is permanent for you. Everything else will change. The best of times, the worst of times. You know, so many things happen which are the best of times. Though we did begin by talking about how, you know, it can be difficult situations. The difficult situations are not always bad situations. Good situations can be difficult. Suppose you're going up in life. Suppose you're making a lot of money. Suppose you're finding success in all things. It can be very difficult for you to keep your head. You may lose your humanity as things are getting better and better and better. And so many people have. But you keep your attention on service of the Lord, and then you are safe. You won't do stupid things. Okay, so why is it that you stay safe? Is because your attention is on something permanent. So no matter what changes come, your security or your focus is on a permanent. Okay, is that clear? Ruchi, it's a silly question. I'm new to the class. Ruchi, when I just ask a question, if you write it's a silly question, then what will I understand from this? Okay. But how do you serve the Lord? What is the correct way? Where are you, Ruchi? I can't see you anymore. I used to see you. Okay, here you are. How do you serve the Lord? What is the correct way? There is no correct way. There's only a way that inspires you or doesn't inspire you. If it inspires you, it's correct for you. Whatever according to you is your service of the Lord. That's your service of the Lord. So if whatever is in your mind worthy of being done, you are doing it. And you're doing it for the Lord. These are the only two criteria that are required. And no question is silly, Ruchi. Sometimes answers are silly, but questions are not silly. Right? Okay, are you okay with that?
Yes, Janki ji, thank you.
Okay, all okay so far. Verse 26 is clear, right? And he who serves me with unswerving yoga of devotion, he having duly crossed these gunas is fit for becoming Brahman. So technically, you know, you've already answered this. Technically, what does it mean? That you are ready for meditation. But being ready for meditation means what? Okay, being ready for meditation means what?
Your mind is steady, no more desires, only few desires.
Okay, that's technically correct. And how do we know this?
He is not bothered by worldly matters.
Okay, you maintain an unaffected grace through good times and bad. Sometimes people handle bad times well, but they can't handle good times. Like, you know, there are some men and women, some couples, they go through very difficult circumstances in the early years of marriage, and they work very hard together, or he works very hard and she takes care of the home and children, whatever, they put in everything in a spirit of cooperative endeavor. And they work hard and they do very well and they become successful as a couple. They reach high heights. Then what happens? Now he's 55. Now he wants arm candy. He couldn't handle the success. So he was okay. When he was poor, he was okay. When he became rich, the problem. How many women I know whose husbands at some late age in life have suddenly realized that they don't like this wife, they want another one. What degree of ingratitude, and I don't know what to make of it. What degree of pain you're willing to cause to a person who has supported you for 25, 30 years. It seems a bit strange nowadays. But the thing for the person is that so many challenges that person has borne as a poor person, as a failed person, as a person who's struggling. The same person as a rich, successful person couldn't handle it. So what is our solution to the problem?
Try to remain unaffected during good and bad times.
You can't do that. What can you do?
Serve the Lord.
To the Lord. Service to
Of the Lord. Service of the Lord. Everything you do is service of the Lord. If you're looking after somebody ill at home, it is service of the Lord. If you're handling people in your home who are going through emotional turmoil, it's service of the Lord. If you're working for the Vedanta University, it is service of the Lord. If you're going to hold a musical night, it is service of the Lord. If you're sending out emails, it is service of the Lord. Just keep the attention focused on that. If you are into the publication of the books, it is service of the Lord. If you are trying to do a table seminar, it is service of the Lord. As long as the mind stays there, we are good in all circumstances, good and bad. I have seen, okay, even those who do karma yoga, they say these people, they're not listening to us. One day when we do this and that, then we will show them. We will also not speak to them. No, we can't do that. It's okay in jest or something, but no, we can't do it. We will behave with them exactly the same way as we behave now. In both cases, an unaffected grace. Verse 26 clear? Any questions on verse 26? Okay, then verse 27. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha brahmana hi pratishtaham. I am the abode of Brahman. When you say I am the abode of Brahman, please understand that it is talking about us. I am the abode of Brahman. I am. It is the self that is Brahman. Amrutasya, avyayasya. And what are the qualities of this? It is immortal. Immortal means there's no birth, there's no death. It is avyaya, it is immutable, it is changeless. I am the immortal self. I do not go through any change. Shashvatasya dharmasya. I am that eternal dharma. I am the repository of the eternal truth. sukhasya, ekantikasya, ekantika sukha. I am the absolute bliss. You have heard this many, many times. You are not seeking God, you are God. You are not seeking changelessness, you are changeless. You're not seeking the truth, you are the truth. You are not seeking happiness, you are absolute happiness. All we have to do is remove the dirt. That's all we have to do. Once you remove the dirt, you are just what you are. It's pure and simple. So Krishna has identified, is establishing that identity between him and Brahman. And that is what we have to learn, establishing our identity with Brahman. And how do we do this at all times? Is what he has just told us. He just told us, do karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. But then, it's so mechanical for us, we've forgotten what the feeling of it is no longer there. But yeah, how do you realize this? Everyone will say, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. This is not light stuff, Baba. This is our life. So, when you find you're fit for becoming Brahman, means what? You are, remember last verse is that you're fit for becoming Brahman. That means you're going to now meditate and do what? You find out that you are Brahman. You find out that you are unchangeable. You find out that you are immortal. What are you worried about death? You are the immortal. Amritasya putraha. That is how the Vedas talk about it. You are the immortal sons. You are the sons of immortality. Amritasya putraha. That's how they refer to us. What are you talking? Ki ye hua, wo you are. Who are you and what are you talking? Have you ever seen somebody of some stature in life talking rubbish? Like suppose there's a chairman of a company. Okay, and then he goes to, I don't know what, some godforsaken place, some Yavatmal he goes. I hope you have heard of Yavatmal. It's a small place. I think it's a small place in Maharashtra. I don't know. Okay, I better not say too much. Somebody from Yavatmal will tell me, oh my God, it is such a wonderful place. And you're saying things. I'm just trying to think of a small place. Some small place, let's say Yavatmal, anywhere. This chairman goes to his office in Yavatmal, sees a plastic chair there and says, oh wow, what a lovely chair. How bad I don't have this chair. And he starts fighting with the manager कि मेरे पास ऐसा chair नहीं है. क्या बात कर रहे हो? ये पूरी कंपनी आपकी है. You are the chairman. तुमको ये chair चाहिए? ले लो भाई. You are capable of buying 100 such chairs, 2000 such chairs, and you're falling in love with this foolish chair. आधी टूटी हुई है. This is our condition in life. You are the chairman of the universe and you're longing for some chair over here. सबके सब पागल है क्या? No, पागल भी नहीं है. अमृतस्य पुत्राः. The sons of immortality. It's the same concept, no? The son of God. The son of God means what? You are from him. What are you? Immortal, immutable, eternal dharma. You are eternal dharma. You are the ever-changing truth, ever unchanging truth. You are absolute bliss. You are that person who is righteous, eternally righteous. This is our stage. What he's saying. Take it or leave it. Don't look at me. I am not saying it. You are listening to what Krishna is saying. He is saying this. So don't argue with me now. This is what he said. I am reading it out to you. So let us just see quickly what he has said. So in this chapter, what did we learn? This was the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of the distinction of the three gunas. What did we learn? That in the first 4 verses, we learned how when you realize Brahman, you transcend creation and destruction. Okay, you are no longer affected by creation and destruction. Remember that? He said, you are not born in creation nor disturbed in dissolution. My womb is great Brahma, and I place the seed, and hence arises birth of all beings. Okay, so vasanas in combination with the spirit creates the being. So all beings are technically son of the Lord, because it is this combination of vasanas and spirit that gives forth all beings. So he says, great Brahma is the womb. Great Brahma means vasanas. Great Brahma is the womb, and I, the seed-giving father. Seed-giving father means the life-giving principle. So he said, in first 4 verses, told us that we are not bothered by it. Then he went on to tell us about sattva, rajas, tamas, and how it binds us. How we get bound to it, unfortunately and unreasonably. We get bound to sattva. How? Through happiness, through knowledge, through peace, through bliss, through understanding, through clarity. Horrible, horrible bondage. Through nobility, through service. Have you ever heard of any subject in the world telling you this? Everybody tells us to be good. Only Vedanta says you're bound to your goodness. But get out of it. Then what do we, then what? Sometimes, oh, I have to get out of goodness. Then, okay, let me start getting into work then. Then he says, you're bound to work. You're bound to agitation. You're bound to thirst. You're both bound to attachment. You can't give up goodness and go back to rajas. No, I don't want rajas. I'm going to leave work. Then he says, you are bound to laziness. You are deluded. If you work, trouble. If you don't work, if you become good, also trouble. Come, kare kya? Get so frustrated. You are Amritasya Putra. You are the sons of immortality. You cannot be bound to anything that is changing. So you cannot be bound to tamas, rajas, or sattva. So he explained how you get bound to tamas, rajas, and sattva, and you stay there. It binds all beings. Then what is the effect of that? From 14 to 18, he did the effects of that. You remember all that we did, right? How it predominates tamas over rajas and sattva. Remember, each person has some predominance of a guna in his personality, and that creates various kinds of behavior patterns. And then from 14 onwards, he started talking about what happens if you are sattvic and you die. Then he attains to the spotless worlds of the knowers of the Supreme. When there is sattva in you, you will choose an environment which is sattvic. Just like we all have chosen, right? Why are you in this class? It's an environment which is sattvic. Why is it sattvic? Because we're thinking of knowledge, we're thinking of happiness, we're thinking of self-development, we're thinking of service. All these things come under sattva. Now, all the people in this class are dealing with them, isn't it? So you entered an environment which is sattvic, and you will leave it after some time. Now, depending on the degree of sattva, you will spend more and more time in sattvic matters. When there is rajas, then what will you enter? You will enter a field where it's attached to action. The people around you are all attached to action. And also dying in tamas, he's born in the wombs of the senses. Wombs of the senseless. It's really, really sad when you are surrounded by people who have no brains whatsoever. It's frustrating. It's sometimes you may be forced to go to a party you don't wish to go to. And but for whatever reason you need to go. And you go to the party and you realize that there's nobody here who I can relate to. It's like karna hai to karna hai, but wombs of the senseless. क्या बोलते हैं? What is that behavior? What is that attitude? What is that? Everything is wrong. Wrong in the sense, it's not wrong, it's childish. Who are the sufferers of this? It's they themselves. It's very, very interesting. You should go to these places, where these congregations take place and see how everybody makes everything about themselves. And learn from it that I hope I am not doing this. Everything is about me. Even in simple things like, oh, I attend all the Vedanta classes. It's like a feather in our cap. You know what is wrong with that statement? I attend all the Vedanta classes. What's wrong with this? Is there anything wrong with that statement?
Complacency.
Okay, you can say that. It's all about me.
Ego.
It's all about me. Do we even recognize how many people have done how much work for that class to exist? And for me, my only relationship with it is I attend all classes. I am so great. All the contribution of everybody else has been negated in one swift thing. I mean, like, how many times have we gone to say Omkar or Mahesh? Omkar does half of them, Mahesh does half of them, and said, thank you so much for running the class. My whole attitude always is, I attended. Like as if that's something great I did. So in every little way, we make it about ourselves. It's like, for me, it's a feather in my cap I'm attending. What about the 10,000 years of people having maintained this knowledge without a thought of self? Because obviously, for 10,000 years, people have maintained this knowledge with a great deal of sacrifice. Personal sacrifice had to go into it for them to do it. Nothing. To me, it is just, I attend. So it's very easy for us to make it all about us. How many times I've attended is very important. To nobody but to you. So, when we're talking of the wombs of the senses, we have to understand how tamasic we ourselves can be at times. Tamas, remember, the quality of tamas is the word tamas means
Darkness, ignorance.
darkness.
Dark.
So everybody's contribution is in darkness, only what I do is in light. That's the wombs of the senses. So when you watch other people being so, just talk about themselves, give this constant autobiography of how great they are, we must be able to turn it back to ourselves and see how much do I make it about myself. In everything. I like cleanliness. I like simplicity. I like this. I like that. Suddenly it's all become about you. How? Then I fall in love with it. It has to be clean or I can't deal with it. It has to be simple or you're a horrible person. Everything's about me. I have attended the class, but nothing going inside. Middle. You're giving this as an example of wombs of what are you? In what context are you saying this, Milan?
Who is saying no? I have attended. Namesake he has attended. Nothing going inside.
Okay, he is saying. Say I. We say that. Yes, nothing goes inside. Very little goes inside, but it's all about me. This is what we have to get. It's all about me. I am not recognizing the contribution of others. Okay, suppose I say this. Oh, I spent 40 years studying and teaching Vedanta. Do you realize that I could not have done this had somebody not invented this? This is the cause. How would I do it? How can I take it upon myself that I have done it? Suppose we say all through COVID, we worked very hard. We couldn't have done it had not
The internet.
nobody had invented internet, Zoom, all that. I mean, just imagine how much things went in. And then we can say, oh, I did so much work. This is the darkness that tamas puts on us. Just darker. You can't see anything but your own self. The wounds of selfish, of ignorance. Now just think what is the consequence of this. When you can't see anything, when it's dark, what is going to be the consequence? Your conclusions are all incorrect, and that's called delusion. All incorrect conclusion. Why is it incorrect? Because you don't have data. What are you concluding on? And you think you are great because there is nobody to compare anything to. It's all the delusion that comes out. So that heedlessness, that delusion, what else will happen? And then you bump into things. Obviously, if it's all dark around you, won't you bump into things? So these are the consequences. This is what will happen when you're in sattva, when you're in rajas, when you're in tamas. Then what did he talk about? Actually, why do I do summary? You guys should do summary, no? You've already heard everything. You know it now. Then he talks about the transcendence, which was the fourth. So I hope the flow of thought was clear. First, he told us that if you learn this, you transcend the Gunas. Then you transcend birth and death, basically. Okay. Then he says that while you're here, obviously, given, what are you facing? Tamas, rajas, and sattva. These are the qualities. These are binding us. We cannot transcend birth and death because we are bound by the gunas. So he says, so what? I don't want to transcend birth and death. I'm happy enough. So he gives you consequences of this bondage, consequences of being in tamas, rajas, sattva. And then finally it tells us that if you transcend it, and how you transcend it, you will go beyond the gunas. Going beyond the gunas means going beyond being affected by the gunas. We don't seem to understand that there is some real life consequence of this. Many of us think of Vedanta as a nice thing to study. So nice, no? Go to Vedanta class, no? So good, no? There's some real life consequence here. How you get affected by what is going on, or don't get affected. How you see the world, how you interpret the world. What is the quality of your life? There are some very real world consequences. And then when you begin to get it, you realize that my whole life is nothing but the consequences of these laws. And if I don't know these laws, then I'm functioning blind only. And you know the consequence of suffering, of functioning blind. When you start thinking about it, then you start asking genuine questions. Like Omkar had a genuine question yesterday. What was his question? He said, okay, I'm getting angry. And I think to myself, what will I achieve by getting angry? I will not achieve. Remember, we always say, ask yourself, are you going to get anything by doing this? What is it you're trying to do? And are you going to get it by doing it? So I say, no, by my showing my anger now, I'm not going to get it. So I'm not going to show my anger. Now, if you practice this, then you'll experience what he experienced. What is it that will happen if you practice this?
Suppression of
You get, you get very angry because now, firstly, you gotten angry. Then you're not allowed yourself to express that anger. And anger is all bottled up within you. Only when you try it will you ask a second level of question. What can I do if I don't express it? It gets worse after some time. That's a genuine question because you've practiced it and found where the lacuna lies. So what do you do with that now? What should you do with it? Now, if I express it, I will spoil this relationship. If I don't express it, I will be, what should I say? I will become like it's all pent up within me. What am I supposed to do?
High BP, high sugar.
Yeah, high BP, high sugar, yes. It's all pent up. एक ना एक दिन it's so pent up, वो तो volcano कोई ना कोई दिन burst होने ही वाला है. So what should I do? What's your answer?
Moderation.
direct it.
Directed what? What do I do with it?
Directed.
All those who attended yesterday know the answer, so I will just proceed. You can vent in a safe environment, but you must locate a safe environment to vent it. If you're really angry with your spouse, then that's not the person you go and tell. Find a safe person. So anyway, we are not dealing with how to deal with it, but the point I'm trying to raise is what? What's the point here?
There are real world
That will be answer.
consequences, not understanding the laws.
That once you start doing it, you get a second level of questions. And you do it some more and you answer those and you do it some more, you get a third level of question. And that's how you go into the depth of the knowledge. Because you have to stay real, right? Otherwise, we all become fakus, all trying to live in some halo until that halo bursts around us. No, we have to be genuinely those persons, in which case the genuine questions will. That I tried it, but this is the problem with it. Because then only the second level of questions will come. Na? So slowly, the depth of knowledge, the three-dimensionalness of the knowledge will come through. Otherwise, it's very one-dimensional. So then it becomes like, what should I do? Use your intellect. It's very one-dimensional. It's like you've taken a great truth and reduced it to a nothing. So we go step by step in our comprehension so that actually life shows the real world effects of this beautiful knowledge. And if it doesn't show real world effects, then something is wrong. So this was chapter 14. It was a very, very simple chapter, and just how simple it was, you will know next time when we will start the 15th chapter. 15th chapter is one full toss that the Bhagavad Gita takes you on. So 14th chapter is very simple. 15 chapter is Upanishadic levels, just 20 verses. I don't know how long it will take us. This was a very light and happy chapter. So we chant together the last verse and Om Tat Sadat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayaha. And to indicate that we have not finished the study of chapter 14, but started the study of chapter 14, we will chant together again the first verse. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñātvā munaya sarve param siddhimito gataha. So next time we will start chapter 15. Mahesh, you can tell your list that. And Bharat has an announcement for us.
Yes, Hari Om everyone. A reminder, this coming Thursday, 20th of March, we'll have the book launch, The Habits of Happiness. Swamiji and Janki ji will be having the discussion. The details are already on the group. We'll be sharing them again. Please share the information. Thank you.
Yes, it's on Happiness Day this time. So please do make an attempt to tell others also to participate in the event, in the hope that these great and noble ideas spread far and wide. Okay, so that's it for this time. Hari Om.
Hari Om Janki ji.
Janki ji,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janki ji.
Hari Om Janki ji.